Want to see more cool videos on our channel? We do, so press this bell and enable to send notifications.
When it comes to locations around the globe, most of them are known about now. The increasingly small world we live in, thanks to air travel and the internet, means that there are not many secret islands left to see. That does not mean, however, that there are none. It may surprise you to know that there are still some patches of sand and sea that remain a mystery for a variety of reasons. Some are so far flung that they are in spots no one has gone before, where some are top-secret private islands housing government facilities. We'll take a look at the 10 most intriguing islands in the world today. Number 10. Isla Bermeja. Measuring in at around 80 square kilometers, this island was once off the coast of Mexico, but has since seemingly disappeared into thin air. Isla Bermeja would have been the furthest point of Mexico's geographic border to the west if discovered, but this has now changed thanks to it vanishing. This has meant that the geographic border remains the Alacranes Islands, and Mexico cannot claim the island to extend its borders as planned. But just what happened to Isla Bermeja? The simple fact is, no one is really sure. It was first shown on maps off the Yucatan coast in the 1700s, and efforts since then have been made to find it. A Mexican naval vessel in 1997 was the first to have a good look for it, but could find no trace where it should be. Many believe that it has mysteriously sunk or submerged due to an earthquake, where some say that the USA blew it up to stop Mexico expanding. Number 9. VOZROZHDENIYA Island. This perplexing island was once found in the Aral Sea and was chosen in the 1920s by then Soviet Russia to house its biological weapons experiments. The Soviet authorities at the time needed an out-of-the-way place within its territory to perform the experiments, and VOZROZHDENIYA was ideal. With no one nearby to work out what was going on, it provided the perfect place to use. Up to 1,500 workers stayed on the island to work and live when it was at its peak. The Soviets developed and tested terrible weapons there, such as anthrax, smallpox, and tularemia for potential military use. So, what happened to it? The Aral Sea dried up, which meant it was no longer an out-of-the-way island. The Soviets buried or burned the biological weapons there to avoid detection and scampered. Number 8. Earthquake Island. This island makes the list for the way it mysteriously sprung from the Earth's core. Many will remember the huge earthquake around Pakistan in 2013 that killed 39 people. What most don't know is that the same quake also created this whole new island out of nothing. It was not present on any maps beforehand, and scientists believe that the violent forces involved created it. Measuring 100 meters long by 9 meters high, it is a wonder of nature in many ways. Scientists believe that the immense forces caused by the earthquake buckled the land and forced some to rise up, thus creating this island. Number 7. Magic Island. If you like your sci-fi, then this is an island that will intrigue you. The boffins at NASA have long been studying what is happening up in the stars above us. One of the planets they keep an eye on is Saturn and its many moons. When analyzing recent satellite pictures sent back for review, the NASA scientists noticed a brand new island had been created on Titan, one of the moons of Saturn. This was major news, as it was the first time any new land had been seen and prompted many to wonder exactly what had created it. It's pretty tiny, measuring in at 20 kilometers by 10 kilometers, but is an outstanding discovery nonetheless. The island lies in one of the seas of Titan, but the NASA guys say they will not know the full nature of the landmass until they can float a boat there to investigate. Number 6. Bannerman Island. Bannerman Island in the Hudson River is a half-hour boat ride from New York City. There's no other way to get there. Visitors to the mysterious island are likely to wonder why there's a castle on it. The edifice was built by Frank Bannerman VI, who made a fortune by reselling surplus military equipment he bought at government auctions at the end of the U.S. Civil War. He was in need of a place to store the huge quantities of black powder he'd purchased, along with other surplus items, when his son David mentioned Polopole Island. Bannerman bought it in 1900, built a large arsenal there the next spring, and constructed a small castle atop the island, next to the arsenal as his home, renaming the island after himself. When Bannerman died in 1918, construction ceased. The ferry boat was destroyed in a storm in 1950, and the island was abandoned. On August 8, 1969, a fire gutted the arsenal, and New York State, which had bought Bannerman Island and its buildings in 1967, declared the island off-limits. It reopened in 2017, and tour guides now recount the island's mysterious history to curious visitors. Number 5. Socotra Island. Surrounded by crystal clear water, this island is truly one of a kind. Found off the coast of Yemen, it looks like some kind of alien planet due to the many rare plants found there. It is thought that a third of the plant life here is found nowhere else on Earth. Due to this, 70% of the island has been protected under law for future generations. The cause of this strange plant life is thought to be the arid conditions and extreme temperatures the island sees. Many unusual fauna are found here, including the dragonblood tree. The sap of this tree is bright red, and leaves only grow on the very tips of its branches. It is not just the plants that people come to see. The island is home to bat colonies and huge limestone caves to explore if you dare. Number 4. Diego Garcia. This stunning tropical island has long been the subject of rumor and suspicion. Originally home to the Chagosians, they were relocated by force in 1968 so the U.S. could build an Air Force base on the island. Covered in thick jungle and with awesome beaches, it is found in a very strategic military spot. Situated between East Africa, the Middle East, and Southeast Asia, it allows the U.S. to strike from the air in many important locations in the world. The other rumored use for this island is as a top-secret U.S. prison camp, but this has always been heavily denied by the U.S. government. What is known is that the island needs top-level security to get on, so it isn't one for your average tourist. Number 3. Floating Eye Island. Located in the Parana Delta between the cities of Campana and Zarate in Buenos Aires province in Argentina is an island shaped like a nearly perfect circle with a diameter of 120 meters, 390 feet. It is surrounded by a channel that also forms a nearly perfect circle. Thanks to the presence of the round landmass inside it, the channel looks much like a crescent moon. Together, the island and channel resemble an eye, an appearance that suggested the island's nickname. The eye floats. It also rotates on its own axis, film director Sergio Nuspiller said. The filmmaker discovered the eye in 2016 while he was scouting locations for a science fiction movie. Having made the astonishing discovery of the mysterious island, Nuspiller and his crew, including Richard Petroni, a hydraulic and civil engineer from New York who's become involved in the project, decided to make a crowd-funded documentary about the eye, instead of filming the science fiction movie Nuspiller had originally intended to make. Number 2. Partridge Island. This island is found close to Canada, off the coast of St. John Harbor. Officially closed to the public since 1941, it has taken on a real air of mystery since, with many wondering what it is used for. When it was open, it was the official quarantine station for immigrants wanting to come into Canada. To avoid any infectious diseases like smallpox coming into the country, Canadian officials made all immigrants stay on the island for a certain period of time before entering Canada. Any that died were buried on the island, with rumors of a mass grave being used at one point. Number 1. Easter Island. Many people will know this from the famous statues that are found on the island itself. Much mystery has surrounded both them and what the native people, the Rapa Nui, got up to when it was populated. It is thought that they were a race of farmers who had somehow crafted and moved the huge statues themselves around 1770. The biggest question of all is what happened to the Rapa Nui. Researchers now think that they were mostly kidnapped by raiders to be sold as slaves, while the few remaining simply died of old age or disease. This left the island uninhabited and a real mystery until recently. There are many locations in the world that still hold secrets or mysteries, as many of the above do. Whether it is what is happening there now or what went on in the past, they all seem to have stories to tell. And next time you fancy going somewhere different on holiday, why not give island hopping a go? That is, if you are allowed on them. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please let me know by clicking the like button. Do share, write a comment, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can catch up my next video.